Resurrection of CG. This is going to be a video response to your video entitled Warren25Smash, What Are You So Afraid Of? Part 2. I watched both excerpts, but I'm going to post this as a response to the second installment. It seems as though you have an agenda. Well, of course, we all have an agenda to some degree, but you're out to demolish the propagation machine that is the liberal wing of the political spectrum. Those who you view have an agenda that enables the enemy and bolsters their reserve and only contributes to continued violence and continued destruction across the globe, I think, is the context in which you're saying these things. And I believe that you're saying Warren can't articulate a response or a counter response to what you have said without retreating into the avenues of name calling and denigrating your character. The agenda seems to be, you kept saying I'm not doing this for Warren to be kicked off, but it seems as though this is what you are seeking, undoubtedly. I think you're falling victim, and I'm speaking from a personal sense, as everything within the physical mind is built on perception. So again, I'm not here to denigrate you, and I'm not here to downplay your opinion or try to trample over your perspectives. I believe that we're each entitled to our own view of the world, and countering viewpoints are inevitable in a world dictated by change, and people adjust and become adapt to certain modes of expression and certain ideologies and worldviews that cause us to understand the world around us in different contexts than others. So I believe that accentuating, if you truly believe that Warren is doing a huge injustice at the most intimate levels of our existence, i.e. contributing to organizations you would label terrorist organizations being bolstered to carry out more attacks and feeding into this perception and the propaganda that causes these individuals that you view as terrorists becoming resolute in their mission. Shouldn't you seek him out rather than, you're doing this for perception now, and you're trying to entice people to choose sides. It's a very divisive game that you're playing, I believe, and you're trying to evoke emotion from Warren so that he jeopardizes his channel and his following on YouTube. Not to say that we're all adults here, and if we can't handle ourselves in a proper manner, but then it seems as though you defined a proper manner. Isn't freedom of speech a cornerstone of the free world, so to speak? And I understand that that comes with limits. I believe that when you say that hate-filled language shouldn't be distributed, I believe that's true to a degree, but then where are you going to put up these boundaries? Personal attacks, the denigration of races, the denigration of races. While I might not agree with what Warren said, I support his right to use this language. I support him being able to have the opportunity to articulate the iniquities which play out that he perceives. So I believe that, you obviously have I believe that you have conservative ideologies, and those are in confliction with Warren's more liberal. And see, liberal is associated with negative connotations, and you yourself are associating the word liberal with a negative connotation, which it has none. No word has the power to do that. These are ideologies that we foster from experience throughout life. So you each, though opposing one another, hold these beliefs to be fully true. And who's to say which view is right? I think there needs to be a dialogue and communication, and YouTube is the proper avenue for this, but you're using it in such a way, and I'm not speaking down on you. If we're able to see something, it's probably a projection of the self. So while I'm speaking to you, I'm perhaps looking inside myself in the same moment and understanding why I act the way I do. I tend to associate myself more. See, I can't name a political party here. I associate myself with the human cause of global peace, of a universal understanding outside of the physical incarnate. And I know you might not be able to understand what I'm trying to convey by the conceptions that the true mind has. But I believe that we, like things like patriotism, you were questioning Warren's right to invoke certain issues when talking about your home state of Kansas, because he was just using them for a political purpose. He really didn't care about the issue. Speaking of that, kind of getting sidetracked, but patriotism, I know you have it for your state as well as your country. Just by viewing you for the brief time that I did, that's what I took away. And I believe that patriotism, although it's a noble endeavor and a noble pursuit, it's really an act of coerced manipulation by governments throughout the world to cause a disconnect, to elevate one nation over the other. And I believe no nation holds the supreme throne of morality, or trying to help others. There's no nation that is set apart from the others. And any nation that tries to instill that within the populace, that this nation needs to be elevated because of our power and prestige and our moral character and our ideologies, this is only a wedge that drives it between cultures. So there's no common ground. There's no place that we can come and partake in a dialogue to really understand one another and get to the core causes of what makes us act in the way we do, and what philosophies we have on life that has constructed this comprehensive worldview that we have. So I know this perhaps is a little sporadic, and it's hard for me to reply because there were so many issues and so many things on the physical plane that were evoked from me within your course of dialogue that I really wasn't able to lay out a concise path on what I wanted to say. But I believe that this is not the way to go. I understand that you believe there may not be some people that we can communicate with out there, and I don't want to prescribe a label to myself, because that would only further drive a wedge between me and you. And I believe that all people, regardless of their color, nationality, religion, lack thereof, anything that forms the basis of who we are in the physical reality, that this is all temporary. I believe that we have to strive for the templates that reside outside of this, and we need to open communication with one another so that we can understand what motivates the individual and propels the self forward through the timeline that we experience in our brief time here. So I'd like to hear your thoughts and reactions to anything that I've said, and I want to pursue a dialogue with you in the confines of understanding, and that we may arrive at some common basis to understand why we perceive the world around us in a certain context, so that we can build off that and further come together as one human race to eradicate the problems that humanity suffers in a global context.